Most of you are already familiar with the term artificial intelligence. The diagram here gives a quite clear picture of how artificial neural networks connect with today's hot topics: artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Neural networks are not only the framework of deep learning, but also its very soul. At its core lies a simple yet profound idea: approaching truth through connection and iteration. The essence of every technological revolution is ultimately a breakthrough in the way human beings perceive and understand the world. Before I proceed, I believe I myself need to answer the three fundamental questions. Who am I? Where do I come from? Where am I going? First, who am I? I am someone who studied machine learning at a top university in China and has over 2 decades of experience in programming and databases in the industry. As for where do I come from? Machine learning was my university major, my original field of study. Artificial neural networks were the focus of both my bachelor's and master's theses, my research direction, while data science and deep learning are my current professional field. Finally, where am I going? Here for now, I intend to use a storytelling approach by attempting to answer these famous three philosophical questions through the lens of artificial neural networks in order to explore their legitimacy and relevance in philosophy and sociology. I am the type of person who always asks why something works a certain way, not just the how and what. Neural networks seem very mysterious, but I hope our discussion will let anyone to not only grasp the basic ideas of this cornerstone of artificial intelligence, but also know why is it like this. I will try to answer this why in plain language and stay away from formulas. It is important to point out that I am using only this example to explain neural networks concepts. This has nothing to do with political ideology. So if something here seems to be not politically right, it is only because I am not trying to be right or wrong in that direction. About the relationship between artificial intelligence and deep learning, Andrew Ng once gave a brilliant analogy in an interview with Wired magazine. He said, artificial intelligence is like building a rocket. You need a huge engine and you need a lot of fuel. If you only have a powerful engine but not enough fuel, the rocket won't reach orbit. If you have too much fuel but a tiny engine, the rocket won't even lift off. To truly launch a rocket, you need both. And then he explained the analogy. The rocket engine is the deep learning model. The fuel is the massive data that we feed into the algorithms. Andrew Ng's rocket analogy is, in fact, quite similar to our metaphor here. In our story, Adeline, wearing overalls to represent deep learning, rests in the embrace of data, which symbolizes the vast amount of information. Just like the rocket needs both a powerful engine and plenty of fuel, deep learning requires not only the model itself, but also massive data to make it truly soar. Who am I? Where do I come from? Where am I going? It is said that these are the biggest questions in philosophy, an eternal topic, and there are always countless answers. Here I will be defiant and try to give a unified answer. What should I use? Of course, I will use my old friend, artificial neural networks. This age-old philosophy questions and the recent boom about neural networks seem like two completely different worlds. But I am going to let them meet each other anyway, perhaps for the first time in history. It's said that the difference between science and philosophy is that problems that can be solved belong to science, while problems that cannot be solved belong to philosophy. Using science to solve philosophy problems, even the biggest questions, isn't that a mind-blowing idea? Although my friend of over 30 years, the neural network is now a packaged product and used as a toolbox, I still feel the need to expose its true nature. In reality, we're all good people. My friend is especially hardworking, always saving the trouble for herself and making things easier for others. She's willing to sacrifice time and effort to provide others with a clear and concise answer. She have excellent mental fortitude. Once pointed out, she correct her mistakes immediately, rather than jumping up and down at the slightest provocation. So, while she may not have enjoyed the same kind of success as those eager darlings of the times who constantly show off, gold always shines. Now that the time is right, the digital age has provided us with food, and the hardware development has given us the necessary equipment, my friend, with both good character and good manners, is finally taking off. Okay, alright, that's enough talking. Let's take a look at the true face and the whole picture of this bond of minds. Hereby I dedicate the following lines to my model friend, a dream of neural network. She has a dream that no question shall remain unanswered, that no burden shall be too heavy to bear, that no night of struggle shall end without the dawn of clarity. She has a dream that to serve is greater than to rest, that to improve is nobler than to boast, that to give without asking is the purest of virtues. She has a dream that one day every effort, every duration, every sacrifice shall not be for herself, but for the good of all humankind. And in this dream, she becomes not a machine, not a tool, but a spirit of devotion, a presence both high and pure, a force ever faithful to humanity. Humans always want to see things now as they will seem forever. That's why we keep asking for certainty. Think about it. An authoritative neural network model that serves as a definitive guide doesn't just spit out random answers. It's the best guess humanity can make so far, distilled from all the data we've seen until now. That's why its output feels a little like truth with a timestamp, temporary, yes, but also reusable, repeatable, and with a touch of eternity. The evil queen's magic mirror wanted that kind of answer too, something she could rely on day after day. So while the mirror may change its tune and the model keeps retraining, the answers still carry weight because they are grounded in everything we know so far. And that so far can be the closest thing we humans have to eternity. Hey there, my dear friend. Can't wait to see how my old friend gets down to business, right? Tune in and keep your eyes and ears peeled. Since my old friend here only eat and digest digits, we have to get everything digitalized here. Get back to the point. In this vast universe, where is our destination? Eliminating all unnecessary factors and applying the first principles, I believe the answer to where am I going lies in the first two questions. 1. Who am I? 2. Where did I come from? Everything else is nonsense. The first factor is who are you? I mean, are you smart? Do you know how to deal with people? This is usually referred to as IQ and EQ. The next factor is where you come from. Let's stick with the ancient saying, every hair and every skin we have is inherited from our parents. Your parents' material living standards, education, health, kindness, perspective, temperament, personality, and connections all directly influence where your life will go. For simplicity, this factor is called parental level, or PL for short. Wisdom of mind and heart may be inherited, yet they stand apart here, too shining to be considered just heritage. The heritage part here only considers inherited factors other than IQ and EQ. In short, the principle is this: every input in the model should remain independent and uncorrelated. Only by honoring first principles can one hope to succeed. So then, next step, how do we digitize our destiny? After a lifetime spent, success, failure, fame, who has the final saying? The sober-minded will know, every moment you live, every hardship endured, every joy savored, every laugh, every tear hidden in your heart, all of these stand there, day by day, year by year, piling up into what we may call the material quality and the spiritual quality of life. Now place them in quadrants, the horizontal for spirit, the vertical for matter. In the northeast quadrant, the upper east side, live the truly fortunate, the people above people, refreshed in body and mind, with luxury homes and even servants. In the northwest are the white-collar hard workers and the corrupt officials, living in good conditions too, but weighed down by toil, schemes, and unease. In the southeast, we find the non-mainstream painters, artists, singers, and performers, the so-called riff-raff of society, yet they may still sit on mossy steps, laughing with scholars and friends. And in the southwest, the underbelly are the cart pullers, the true beasts of burden, who can only afford broken shacks and leaking roofs, their days spent in exhaustion, their bodies scarred. Next, let's find out, what do neural networks do in a word? If your answer to the question is guess, congratulations. This thing is just a guess. It already knows the origins and destinations of a large number of people, but it chooses to hide their destinations first, allowing only those origins to pass through the model one by one. The model's output is its own guess of their destination. Then it checks how correct its guess is, then rewards or punishes itself slightly, letting it learn from its mistakes and guess better next time. It keeps running everyone's origins through the model to guess their destinations, constantly rewarding and punishing itself until its guesses is comprehensively close enough to the truth, and then it's done. Then you can then randomly grab a few people and feed their origins into this model. The model's guess of their destination should be close to their destiny, or the destinations we already know. Next, let's ask, what does the inside of this model look like? It's actually similar to our society. Everyone loves to go where the wind blows. The tricky ones even know how to ride the waves to their advantage. And sometimes there might be a hurdle that you may not be able to get past. The model is like this too. There's also wind blowing you forward, cartwheeling forward. Measure the distance with multiples of your own body length. As it were, wind reveals the difference of forms. On the other hand, waves erase the difference of measure. Wind, we also have waves, like the gift packs in games, surprises or shocks. You can also think of these waves as benefactors who lend you a hand and petty people who try to hold you back at every juncture in your life. Unlike wind, which measure your reach, waves has nothing to do with your own circumstances. With the luck in your favor, it feels like pies are dropping from the sky. When you lose it, you're just collateral damage. This waves perhaps is what ordinary people simply call luck. Let's be just ordinary people and call it luck. Many and books didn't mention this part. Guess they don't believe in luck. They might say that the help of benefactors, in another word, your good luck, comes only because you show intelligence, promise, and the ability to get things done. That makes people naturally choose to support you. And if you fall victim to conspirators, got bad luck, it is because your own mind was not sharp or cautious enough. In that light, good luck and bad luck are not independent variables from IQ and EQ at all. In this case, perhaps these have simply been lucky, never having truly encountered the claw of darkness and have never experienced those noble people who were completely indifferent to the existence and suffering of others. Only those who have lived long in the shadows can understand. Darkness itself may be the greatest noise in this world. Unlike your IQ, EQ, and your parents, wind and waves are not factors that are known clearly from the outset. We must humbly acknowledge that we need to learn to discern this unpredictable world. After receiving a gift pack, don't get too carried away, because the true trial lies ahead, where the third activation may reshape you beyond recognition. Next part, how do the end adjust the means? That is the tricky part. We will get to this real highlight later. Catch it in my next update.